Cool. Week seven.
Yes.
Week seven. Christ, yeah. One more week after this, and then we'll talk a little bit more about um, what's happening next.
Yes, we absolutely will.
Um, yeah, busy week. I think it's generally been a good week. There was one thing I know I just said we'd just go through the questions, but I just want to. I think the tracking fatigue and mindful eating, because that's something. Um, I have spoken about a little bit this week with some clients as well, and especially at this time of year. So I've had obviously we're now into kind of middle of March, and January you always get like the push at the start of the year, and they've done 10 weeks. If you started on the 5th of January, this is the 10th week, and this is when a lot of people kind of get that tracking is a chore sort of thing, and it is. I'm not going to lie. I've tracked, this is my ninth week, and I've tracked religiously for 9 weeks. Um, Everything that's passed my lips has basically been tracked, and it does work. I'm not going to deny it does work. If you, it's about an awareness and accountability to yourself for tracking, but it does get tiresome and. Well, not tiresome. Tiresome is the wrong word. I guess it gets to be a bit of a chore, and actually, for some people, it's not necessarily helpful. And I think you need to have kind of you need to be in a good place with your food and everything else around that to kind of keep going. And that's something I sometimes forget. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been PTing for 10 years, and my relationship with food when I first started was not great. I'd done the yo-yo dieting and all of that sort of stuff. So I use tracking as a tool to kind of get down to a weight. And then it's a process of learning about what you've got to do to then maintain, because you don't want to track forever. It is a temporary tool. And you do need to work on the basics around um, your nutrition and stuff in the background. So who's sort of put this statement up around tracking fatigue. um, I've taken my glasses off, so I can't read it. She mentioned, hang on, I'm longer than arm's length. So she mentioned, yeah, a couple of really, really positive changes. So things like more fruit and veg, making sure that you are getting protein in with every meal, prioritizing protein, less processed foods. And I think we've talked about processed foods. With processed foods, part of the digestion's been done for you. So you are going to access more of those calories if you eat mainly whole foods and eat more whole foods and less of the processed food. Your body's got to do more processing, so it'll absorb slightly less calories, which makes kind of staying within a deficit easier. So when it comes to tracking versus non-tracking, I always say that tracking is a great tool, and if you're trying to lose weight and you've got no awareness about what you're eating, tracking is a great way of introducing that awareness. So you know what you're eating in terms of calories, you know how much protein's in stuff, you know where the high fat things are, and it just gives you that education. If you are not going to track, then you have to follow some simple guidelines, some simple guardrails, not rules, just stuff to kind of help you. Protein is a key one. You have to try and get protein in somewhere with virtually every meal. And it's not like, I know everybody bangs on about it, but it is a really important thing to help you with satiety, for muscle maintenance, for health and well-being, but mainly the fact that it's going to keep you fuller for longer. If you're not eating enough protein, you are going to want to snack in between meals. You need to make sure you're getting fruit and veg in there. You need to try and have mostly whole food. So that's minimally processed food. About 80% of your diet, roughly 80-90% should be minimally processed food. And then the other stuff can be the food that you enjoy. You need to make sure that you're drinking enough water, and you need to make sure that you are actively working on improving your sleep. And no, we sort of say 7 to 9 hours of sleep. No, that's not always possible, especially if you've got hormonal fluctuations to contend with, if you've got kids, if you've got work and life, that's tough. But if you focus on those five things, so protein with every meal, fruit and veg with every meal, that's going to be a long way. That's going to go a long way towards keeping you fuller for longer and avoiding snacking. If you then stay hydrated, work on your sleep, yeah, and then eat at regular times as well. That's just to do with kind of your food and stuff. So that's kind of, it's not even taking into account activity and exercise and stuff like that. That's just your food. And if you work on that, you will find that you are eating enough for what you need to do. And then the rest of it is tinkering and tweaking. But those are the five things. And if you're not tracking your food, you need to make sure that you prioritize those five things. And if you can't prioritize those, or you don't even know where to start, then tracking needs to be done. But as Ree said, she's eating more fruit and veg, less processed food, less snacking, better awareness of hunger. That is a great place to be for you to kind of step back from the tracking and have a break. It's always going to be there. It's something, it might well be, oh, my weight's plateaued, or generally around weight plateauing, I would recommend, because if your weight starts to go on, you're probably breaking one of those guardrails, or not breaking, you're probably letting loose with one of those kind of guardrails and guidelines. So it's easy enough to bring it back in. But if you're plateauing, then that's where the tracking might come back in, just to see what you like for a week or two, and then you go again. But I think actually that's it shows a lot of progress. Don't beat yourself up about, oh, I'm giving up, I'm sick of tracking. If you're still able to keep to those, we've done our job.
Yeah.
And
100%.
tracking's done its job. That's you've done brilliantly. So I would see that as a positive. If you're able to keep doing that without the tracking, that's a massive positive. Sorry, that was a little bit off track. Question. What was the question? First one.
It was hydration. It was in regards to hydration about like cordial versus water. So is it okay to be drinking like low calorie cordials like squash instead of just plain water through the day? Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry,
It
yeah,
is, it's absolutely fine. Like I say, your main goal, as we've said, is always going to be like hydration. So if having flavored water with that's like cordial or some of the sugar-free like flavored waters, and that helps you get there, then absolutely, if it's helping you to stay hydrated, then absolutely it's fine. But try and stay away from like the really high sugared drinks,
yeah,
because what I think sometimes people don't always realize is that you're adding quite a lot of extra calories into your day. And if you're not tracking them and you're forgetting about them, there's a few other things as well that maybe aren't as accurate, then yeah, it's just something to be more aware of more than anything.
yeah.
And any of them, they're like caffeinated drinks that you're having there as well. Would be like another one, more just be mindful of. But in terms of when it comes to like fat loss, then absolutely cordial's
Yeah.
not an issue at all.
Yeah, I mean, we in the Mac Nutrition course, they talk about hydration, and there's some myths and things around hydration. Uh, excuse me. And there was a post, I've seen a post. There was a guy who said, in terms of hydration, water and milk were the best. They were anything other than water and milk wasn't hydrating you. And I called him out on it, because as we know, like anything, most drinks, most beverages have water in them. In fact, all things that we drink will have water in them, and that will all count towards your hydration. And there are certain things, like people have this conception that fizzy pop. That was the thing he was saying. Don't drink pop. It's not hydrating. I'm like, yeah, it is. And I sort of called him out on it. No, it's not. And I sent the link to, because he put, to make himself sound credible, he actually put a PubMed ID of this thing, and so I thought, oh, I'll just type that ID number in and read the study, and it's the study that they refer to in the Mac Nutrition course, where they basically gave people the same volume of fluid and then tested hydration levels afterwards, and things like, so water was the standard. That was you kind of given a value of 1, and then everything else was compared to it. And your most hydrating fluids were milk and what was the other one?
Coca-Cola's quite high, isn't it, compared to like
Yeah,
what we
so
think, like your isotonic drinks and stuff. They're your
yeah,
highest ones from memory.
yeah, and then fruit juices as well. That was the other
Yeah.
one. But Diet Coke is actually marginally, and Coke is marginally more hydrating than water. And then even when we look at coffee, so like your standard Americano coffee, is roughly on a par with water. And it's only really if you start drinking things like espresso shots, like they're going out of fashion, that the hydration might be impacted. And also like your really high alcohol content spirits. I wouldn't necessarily recommend drinking alcohol for hydration, but it does actually count towards some of it, like especially things like your beers, and as long as they're not too strong, it does count for hydration. Because what we've got to remember is that 250, 300 years ago, the only safe fluids that people could drink were beers, ciders, meads, because water was full of pathogens. So, it was that was the only way they got hydration in. They had to drink those fermented drinks like beers and ales and wines and things. So everything counts towards your hydration. But yeah, if you drink, I don't like plain water, so there's some squash in that. I just don't like it. And if I want to drink, like, this is my third one of these today, um, I need to have some flavor in there. So sugar-free stuff, absolutely get it down you.
There you go. Nice and simple. um,
Uh,
Next question.
that was the sleep one, I believe.
Yes. So falling asleep fine, waking up in the night and struggling to get back to sleep. Um, I have been there. I don't know if you remember, Will, when I did my ankle and I kept waking up in the middle of the night and we had a whole conversation about it. So I was like, yeah, it's really bad because now I'm in this habit where I keep waking up at 3 in the morning and then I'll put a film on. and we had a whole conversation about it, like, well, actually, that's the worst thing to do because now even though like originally I started that I was waking up because I was in so much pain, then I'd have to take more painkillers, wait for them to kick in before I'd fall back asleep. And that was obviously quite normal with the situation I was in.
Yeah.
But then because I'd wake up, start watching something, my body would then just start, even when I wasn't in pain anymore, waking me up at 3 in the morning, be like, well, come on, why are we not watching a film? So
It's a habit. It is.
and
And
it can be really difficult. And for various reasons, you can start waking up in the night. And sometimes it can be really tricky, can't it? Once your body's just decided, like, that's it. We wake
yeah,
up now at 3 in the morning and that's us. But it's what you then do around that, isn't it? To try and get yourselves back to sleep is the important thing.
yeah, it is. And I am now of an age where, as a bloke, I'm in my mid 40s, where waking up at half two, 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the toilet is is pretty much, I wouldn't say a nightly thing, but I would say it's probably 50% of the time. And this might sound daft, and people, it might sound funny, but I when I wake up and right, I need to go I don't turn the light on. I will
No.
walk, feel my way to the toilet with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't have an ensuite. We're not posh, but
We
our
don't.
bathroom is right next door to the bedroom. So you're literally straight out the bedroom door into the bathroom. So I'll do it with, I know the walk, obviously, with my eyes closed, stumble my way to the bath, go to the loo with my eyes closed. I sit down. I might make a point to this. I am not trying to aim with my eyes closed. And then, and then go, and it's because I'm trying to reduce as much stimulus as possible, because my brain responds, because of the ADHD, it responds to stimulus. And as soon as that brain's stimulated, and I
Yeah,
am
that's
wide
it.
awake. Um, so I try and reduce that, and it's literally, I will, and I'm fine. I'll go back to sleep and relax, and I will go back to sleep. But it's that reduction of stimulation. If you struggle to go back to sleep, and a tip that I was given that worked really well for me, because I suffer periodically with insomnia, is don't try and struggle to go to sleep in bed, because it becomes then an association. and it's a trigger. So remember, when we come to habits, habits are started by a cue or a trigger. And that trigger could be environmental, like it could be sight, smell, sound, it could be a situation, it could be a location, a time, a place. So you've got to try and break that trigger. So bed is not, you need to stop the association with lying in bed being awake. Get up. And I used to go downstairs and sit and read. And then when I was tired, I'd go to bed and I'd try and go to sleep again. And if I didn't go to sleep, I'd go back downstairs. And it's tough because that's the last thing you want to do, but you want to associate bed with being tired and asleep, not tired and unable to sleep. So if you go downstairs, you might feel knackered and you're like, I don't want to do this, but that's kind of, if you're really struggling to go to sleep, get yourself out of bed and go and do something. I used to read. I used to actually go and unload the dishwasher and do stuff like that, and then I go back up and I go to sleep. That's kind of some of the other stuff, but I think it's going back to the basics. So um, we talk about bedtime routine and things like that. So making sure that you aren't having coffee past 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, making sure that you've got consistent kind of bedtime routine, getting up at the same time every morning. That's something else that people kind of, well, day off, I'm going to stay in bed till 11 o'clock and then wonder why you can't go to sleep at your normal time later on. It's managing stress overall. Stress is a big one. And it is learning to manage that stress and some strategies around that. So it could be that you bring something up called worry time, where you write everything down on your pad and you deal with it at a certain time. There's loads of different things, but I would say that generally look at those things first. And then there are other considerations, especially if you're female and you are approaching kind of that certain time of your life. So there are things like that as well that you have to kind of contend with. And just your general monthly cycle. I mean, if you're not perimenopausal, it's just a general monthly cycle. I am so glad I'm a bloke. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really am.
Yeah. We do have we yeah, we have a bit more fun, don't we, I guess.
Fun's not a word I would use, judging from all the stuff that you ladies go through. Fun is not a word I would use.
Just shows how incredible we all are, really, doesn't
Oh, I was going to
it?
say, yes. Well, men have made a mess of the world up to now, so I think maybe you lot should take over. I watched somebody said that. Oh God, who was it? Oh, I can't remember. It was like a famous actor or something said that, men have run the world for hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years and have made such a mess of it. Maybe women should take over. I
Let's have a
agree.
chance.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just the standard stuff. And I think in terms of supplements, there's lots of things out there that make all sorts of claims. Evidence-based ones, you're looking at magnesium glycinate being about the only one.
Yeah.
And it's not a silver bullet. It's not something it's not a magic pill. It will help if you're working on all the other stuff and you can get to sleep. It can sometimes help improve the quality of sleep and sleep duration and kind of reduce things that may be getting up. So it might be worth just having a look at magnesium glycinate, not magnesium. So when you get magnesium supplements, you're looking for glycinate, and also make sure that you're getting a decent dose, because some of them out there, like there's the Nutrition Geek one, they do this combination where it's magnesium citrate, glycinate, and something else, malate, but the dose is underdosing on all three of them.
Yeah. So it's not
Uh,
doing what it
yeah,
was.
so you can get it on Amazon, decent one, and I think you want is it 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium in it? I think that's about right. Um, yeah, but if you're looking for something, look for a decent magnesium glycinate supplement, um, and try that. Yeah. Next question. In fact, it's the
Last
last question.
question.
Yeah, about the new project that
Yes,
we're busy working on. It's launching on the 6th of April.
it's coming
Alice,
together.
yeah, Alice and myself and another coach, Lisa. So we've got somebody else who's joining us, Lisa, who is a strength and conditioning coach, qualified PT, strong as anything.
Very strong. Don't mess with
Insane
her.
as well. Yeah. And is passionate about health and fitness. She's trained herself for, although she's not been a coach for long, she has trained and has gym experience for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you ever see her, you kind of go, she must know what she's doing.
Yeah.
She does.
She absolutely does.
She does know what she's doing. She's as with all of us, she suffers with imposter syndrome. But yes, we've come up with something called the Real Fit Collective. And the idea is it's basically a community that we want to build that is based on building systems and habits and routines around health and fitness. And it's not just around fat loss. It's although fat loss will be part of it, it's about building a healthy, sustainable life with ongoing coaching support in a group capacity. So it's not one-to-one coaching. And we have to make that very clear because what we want to do is try and help as many people as we possibly can. But it's going to be education and evidence based, ongoing coaching, support. We provide a structure. We are there to kind of guide you. You know, if there are any questions, you ask questions. We're going to carry on with these calls, although I do think they'll be on a different night. I don't think they'll be on a Thursday, potentially a Tuesday, but we will. Oh, I'm kicking the bucket,
Don't do
literally,
that.
not proverbially. I've kicked the bin. Yeah. So, yeah, we are. We so it's ongoing coaching. It's lots of support. We're going to do the weekly calls, and it's a community base. And initially, it's all online through a what's the word I'm looking for? A portal called School. And School it's like basically there's lots of communities there. So we're building our community there with a bulletin board, sort of a core structure in there. You'll get workouts. So there'll be like a workout provided, whether you can do it either in the gym or at home. We'll give you guidance on how you can progress workouts or regress them or alter them so you can personalize them yourselves. So the idea is that we give you a workout, and there may well be things that you kind of think, actually, I can't do that exercise or that one. Then we will give you the education and tools that you can do that yourself. Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. You know, we want to give you we mentioned before, like ongoing coaching. A lot of people need ongoing coaching, but you don't necessarily need that. And this applies to all of you on this program. You might need some coaching and support and guidance, but you don't necessarily need that kind of one-to-one wraparound support or you know, it's light touch and the ability to ask questions if you need a bit of support and help, and just get some guidance. And that's what that's there for. And we want to try and build this huge community so that the community supports and encourages and engages. Because I know working in this industry for 10 years, this is now getting into my 11th year. If you build a team and a community around you, you keep going. You know, I set up a Tough Mudder team last year, and the same guys are doing it again because they enjoyed it and it's that support and thing, you know, being driven forward. They're all part of the same gym, and then now they've done that Tough Mudder together. Every time they see each other in the gym, they say hello. They, you know, ask how each other's getting on. If somebody's slipping or if they haven't turned up to the gym for a little while because life happens, that a lot of they're sending them messages and asking them, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" So it's that kind of community and support that we're trying to build. But like I say, you're going to get education on nutrition. Alice is going to be our nutrition guru. You're going to get education on training and exercise and progressing. and Lisa and I are going to take over that. And then I'm going to do a lot around mindset because one of my big passions is changing mindset and building systems around managing your life. And it's something that um, all three of us have done,
Hmm.
and we're trying to sort of help people do that ourselves. But yeah, there's lots and lots of things coming out. There is a wait list. Now, I have said this last week. You guys get first dibs. Um, if you are interested in doing that, because Shape Up as is isn't going to exist past the end of March. However, it's not completely gone because that's what the Real Fit Collective then becomes. So it's effectively the same thing. And the waitlist gives you early access. So when the doors open on either the 5th or the 6th of April, I can't remember the exact date. I have got it written down.
6th is the
Uh,
Monday.
the 6th is the Monday. Yes. So on the 6th, you will get an email on the 5th saying doors are open tomorrow, early morning. When those doors are open, you get early access, and the first 30 places will be. We're hoping to try and fill the foundation trial. The first 30 places are going to be at a reduced rate. The cost isn't going to be much. We're looking at about £30 per month, so it's cheaper than Shape Up. We've reduced the cost because we know that everything's expensive. But for the first 30 people, they will, because they're helping us set it all up, there will be a reduction, £20 per month for the first 6 months, and then that will go up to £30. The price is never going to be extortionate. It's always going to be at that kind of manageable rate. But within that, like I say, you've got workouts. Every month there will be new workouts coming out and they will be given to you, and we will sort of show you how you can track them, how you can monitor them, measure your progress through that. You will get regular kind of meal things. So the stuff that I'm doing around the meals, we're going to keep giving out meal ideas and people can share them within the community. You get access to all of my YouTube stuff as well. So my YouTube workouts, and you can join in the live workouts on the Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays if you're free. There's going to be the course, which we are currently building and will continue to build. So that's something that will continue to develop and change. So based on the questions that you guys ask, there might be that we do. So for example, talking about sleep, that is something that we will put up there. So there'll be a little course on how you can eventually how you can help improve sleep. There'll be something on supplements. There'll be something on, it might well be that we add stuff in like if you want to get into running, might be something that will help you do that as well. So that will continue to change. And then I'm also, and I've mentioned this to Alice and Lisa, I also want to kind of start bringing other stuff on board. So I have obviously through the fitness industry, I've got contacts and people who are interested and have expressed an interest in perhaps providing some yoga workout flows that, again, do some recordings and videos for that. And then we can offer that as well. And maybe some live ones. And then going forward, once we've got everything established and set up, looking at maybe some in-person stuff as well. So doing some workshops and seminars around what you guys want. It could be that you might want a talk on perimenopause and helping managing the systems and some of the actual, what's real, what's not real. I know doctors who specialize in perimenopause. My cousin is a GP who specializes in women's health, and I've got a friend that I went to school with who works in is again a GP but specializes in women's health and perimenopause. So we're looking at bringing that's further down the line, but bringing things like that in. So that is the plan. That is what we're looking for. If you want to join the wait list, there's two different ways you can do it. You can either find me or Alice on Instagram. Is it in your bio as well?
I need to put it in, but it'll be in by the time
Yeah.
this call goes live to you guys.
But if you find mine, it's in my bio, so you can click on the link there. I think it's in my Instagram bio. Let me just check that actually.
Yes, both of them will be there before you guys see this call, so it's fine.
It is in my bio. So if you tap on my bio, it is on there. I knew I'd done it. So if you just literally click on that and it's just put your email on there and you join the actual list so that when the emails start coming out about, and we'll send out more information about what it's about. So, give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes. And in fact, I mean, I have shown Gina because Gina came for a PT session. Oh, there we go. So you'll get to see sort of the structure. At the moment, we are working on it. It will be ready to go in 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks on Monday? Yes, 3 weeks on
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Not
we're
long.
currently building the courses and doing all the recording, and Alice and Lisa are loving recording, speaking to camera and recording themselves.
Honestly, I feel like obviously I did loads for Shape Up, and then because it's been a while, I'm like, oh God, I'm terrible at this.
It's
But it's okay.
it's
We'll get
fine.
back there. We'll get back in the flow.
I love the sound of my own voice, so I love it. But yeah, so we're building the courses. Lisa's doing all the workouts and the programs, so that's going to be up. There's a few little things that we've just got to finalize, but it will all be up and running on the 6th of April, and we're dead excited about it. And the idea is hopefully, I mean, the goal is to first of all start off with 100 people, but then make it to 1,000, and that's my kind of big vision, and it's to try and build it as big a community as possible, because that's we need support, and it's destroying the myths. So, getting rid of things like sins and points and some of the stuff around diets and things like that is just. I did a post today. Coke's good for you, Coke's bad for you. Seed oils are bad for you, seed oils are good for you. Don't eat carbs to make you fat. Eat carbs because they help you. It's
It's a
we'll break it
minefield out
absolutely down.
there.
Yeah, we break it down. So it's evidence based, and as things change, we will kind of keep you updated and let you
Yeah.
know as well. But that's it. We're, as you can tell, I'm dead excited about it, and it will happen because I've got uh, I've got somebody helping me. Like somebody, this is what they do. They help build and launch these programs so that they're dead successful, and run smoothly.
Yeah. Very, very exciting.
Yes, it is good. But yeah, and if you've got any more questions on that, just stick them in the group and I will answer them as best I can. At the moment, we don't want to give too much away. We don't want to show you too much, but I know it's going to be great. Just because Shape Up isn't the first kind of online group coaching I've done, and I've done probably about 4 or 5 iterations, and they've all been good and they've all worked really well, but they've all had kind of little. It meant that I was limited in how much help I can give. I think with this
Yeah.
can help
So much.
loads of people.
Yeah.
So, and we can do, and just it's going to be, yeah, I think we can do sort of in-person stuff as well as the online. So it is group coaching. That's the thing that you've got to think about. So it's the programs will be standard, but we will give you the help and advice to individualize it and personalize it for yourself so that you can do that easily. And if you're stuck, then you can ask for help and we can help provide that for you. But you'll get absolutely everything that you get in Shape Up, like in terms of being able to, there will be ways of tracking your habits. There'll be um, weekly form for feedback. We'll be encouraging you to do all the same things, but it's going to cost you less and you will get so much more out of it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I could waffle about it all night, but we've been talking for half an hour, so I'm going to stop there. No, it's brilliant. So yeah, last week it's the last sort of main week next week. I will be in touch with you guys as well individually to kind of book calls just to see if there's anything we can do for you, if you've got any questions or if you want us, in a couple of weeks we'll be able to show you some of the background. So if you want, and like I say, you will get first dibs and you will get a behind the scenes of the stuff before because you've helped us build it by being part of this program.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. So it's a massive thank you, and we want to make sure that you get the opportunity to join in if you want to at the founder's price as well. But yeah, so massive thank you. But until next week, it is bye from us.
Bye.